All right, so I got a few of you guys asking me how I tie my knots. Basically, we're gonna get this grasshopper off of here real quick. Put that back in the box. So we got this little beaded fly here. Either I'm gonna use that or that woolly bugger right there. We'll try with this for a few. So basically, I go through the eye of any hook. This is a knot I use for a lot of stuff. I'm gonna wrap this, put 2 fingers out, wrap this around both fingers, and take my middle finger and my left hand, hold that tag in your fingers, and then basically I'm just gonna wrap the line about 5 to 8 times through that loop, and then basically just pull that tight, just like that, and then slide it over. So that's pretty much it, you know, just a little basic uni knot. It's kind of what I use for everything. I use it offshore. I use it to tie leader, to braid, like mono to braid. I even use it like on daily things with just like rope and tying stuff down. Super simple, very, very strong knot. And basically what it does is when you wrap that around through that loop, you're wrapping it over itself. So even if one spot of that tag like slips out, you still got the other wraps that are holding it together. And it's basically like a no-fail kind of knot. So yeah, I'll go over the trolling motor in a minute. I'm gonna get set up on these grayling and see if I can catch a few. Not too bad, not too bad. Little guy right there. Beautiful, beautiful grayling. Oh, what I like to do with these fish, I do like to take care of Alaskan fish. I'll throw them in the net real quick. Don't really want to touch this thing more than I have to, so keep them in the water. And I've had a few people ask me since I put this thing on, like, you know, how's the trolling motor doing? Like, it looks super cool. Like, a lot of people took my design and, you know, bought the same exact kayak as me just to do this, which, you know, that really warms my heart that people, you know, took in my idea and are running with it. So basically, like I said in my review, you have your on-off button, so that obviously turns it off, and it kind of has a different tone. So that was off, that's on, off, and this is your forward, and it goes pretty fast. Like, it gets up to like 4.5 miles an hour, which is insane, absolutely insane for a trolling motor on a kayak. And then you have your left and your right. I also use this to park my kayak, which is insane. Like, I literally will get out of the kayak and then drive this around, not even being in the kayak. And I'll drive it right up to the trailer and then back it onto the trailer without even being in it. That really gets people's like eyes popping. They're like, whoa, dude, that's insane. But yeah, I mean, this thing is like a game changer for this. So like, it doesn't have spot lock, it doesn't have any of that stuff. Basically, like, it's your forward, back, left and right, and then on and off. But yeah, I mean, it literally is more than enough for what I do. If I wanted to go to like Seward or Valdez or whatever and fish off the beach with this thing, I absolutely 100% would be comfortable doing that. I did take this to, what is it called? I took it to Harding Lake, and I was fishing for lake trout. And I mean, the weather got pretty bad. Like, there was about 1 to 2 foot waves, and I mean, this thing was just holding me. I set the speed, kind of counteracted the current and the wind. I mean, it was just holding me still. As you can see, like, the battery's in the back with the solar panel, so it's charging the battery right now. I could go all day long on this thing and literally just lake hop or pond hop all day. I can just turn this thing around, turn it on, and in my review, like I said, like, if you set this thing to full speed and you turn it off, it will stay in that speed. And you can also like change the speed while it's off. So right now, say it's in this speed or, you know, full speed. If I turn it off and then turn it back on, it's gonna stay in full speed. But if I turn it off, turn it down, you'll get that little beep right there, and that means it's all the way at the lowest power possible. So if I turn it up, that's all the way up. So I wanna keep it like kind of in the middle and then give her a little bump, turn it on. That way it doesn't, like, I'm standing up right now, so if I was to turn that on, it'd be full speed. You know, I could have the tendency to fall out if I left this thing full speed. So not a good idea, especially if you're new to kayaking and all that stuff, or you know, this water's pretty deep. So it's basically, you know, just a food for thought kind of thing. If you do have this setup, just don't keep this thing in full speed if you're new to all this. Right now I have current, so I'm at about halfway, and you can see it's kind of just creeping along. It's a little faster than the current. It's kind of what I want. I want to just creep up to these grayling because they're probably right up here somewhere. I don't want to like speed up into the current, make a bunch of wake and scare them off again. So that right there is full speed, and I mean, as you can see, it is plenty of power. What you don't want to do with this while you're standing up is totally jackknife this kayak right now. You don't want to jackknife that trolling motor. I can turn it off and jackknife it all day, but if I was to turn it back on right now, it would shoot me sideways. I'd probably fall in. Don't want to do that. Don't really feel like going for a swim today. Water's super cold. Also bought an Insta360 camera, so I'm testing that out too. And then I got the brand new GoPro Hero 10 on my head with the snap mount. If y'all don't know what that is, I'll put it in the description of the video and kind of show you a picture of what it is. It's super cool. It's like a magnetic mount, so you don't really have to screw with the like head mounts and unscrewing it, screwing it back on. You literally just snap it back together, and it's super cool. It's kind of a little uncomfortable right now on my forehead because I have it in between my hat and my forehead, and I don't know, it's kind of weird. So I might switch that back over to this head mount because this thing's kind of uncomfortable. So there's another grayling right there. These are pretty decent sized grayling, and I mean they're in a decent sized school. Like there's probably I'd say about 10 or 11 in this school right now. And then I actually passed a guy on the way here, and obviously he was complimenting my kayak and stuff, but he was like, he came down this mouth and he caught quite a few. So I feel like it's going to be a pretty good day, but I just got to get these things to wake up and figure out what they want to do with their life. But yeah, with this thing, with any boat really, if I'm going down current, I literally will keep it like in one of like the lowest settings of speed. That way all I need to do is just turn the boat, because the current's already pushing you. You don't really need to like full speed the trolling motor. You already got current going that way. So basically I have it in like the lowest setting. I'm just trying to keep the kayak either pointing that way or sideways. That way I can control it. But we're gonna keep on going down. I know there's a school of grayling up there. I've spooked them a couple times, so we'll just leave them alone for a little bit and come back to them. I'm honestly like still new to this whole Insta360 thing. Still getting used to it, and it's different. It's definitely a different angle. It's waterproof. It's super cool. But I'm gonna use it in the future. So August 10th is caribou season up here in Alaska, and I'm gonna be bringing that camera with me, obviously the GoPro, and it's probably gonna be a solo hunt, which is kind of scaring me a little bit, because like, you know, anything could happen out there and you don't want to be alone. But definitely not recommended. But I've done a lot of crazier stuff, so I'm not really worried about it. But yeah, I'm gonna be bringing that camera. Totally try to bring my drone, try to get some really good shots for you guys, and then I'll probably be riding out on the Can-Am. Hopefully it doesn't break on me again, because I literally blew up 2 CV axles last weekend, which was kind of my fault, but those are all replaced. I got brake pads coming in on Monday, so I'm gonna replace those. So the 4-wheeler should be good to go by caribou season. So yeah, we're just gonna get to it. I just wanted to let you guys know, like, I'm not leaving anybody out. I just needed time to make a video on the trolling motor and stuff. So yeah, there you have it. I mean, this thing is absolutely insane. It is, like, if you really want a trolling motor, this is one of the best, if not the best, trolling motor to get. It's really not that expensive. If you watch my review video or installation, but it's not really an installation video. Like, it was not easy putting this thing in, so I really didn't record that whole process, but I did go over it after I went through it, how everything's hooked up. Obviously, like, this thing is insane too. Like, this whole kayak setup is just ridiculous. It has side view, It has a map, it has everything. You can set up your own combos, so this is one of my combos. You got like a scope and then your traditional. So this is obviously a scope, and then you got your map over here. Then you can go to just traditional if you want, just like that. A little bit easier to read. I mean, this is what most people use right here. So basically like all this right here is fish, these little streaks that you see. You can actually see this one coming up. And there's another one. This thing's very, very accurate, very detailed. You can change up the orientation, so I have my side view up here. Obviously, this reads like straight off to the sides of the boat, and then you have right here the clear view, which reads down up under the boat, and then your map. Let's do straight clear view like this, if you can read it. Stick with, we'll do like traditional and side view. I just like side view because I'm kind of like still getting used to it. Like all these little streaks you see here are all a bunch of fish, are right about 10 to 15 feet down. Like right here you can actually see, like if I bounce my rod up and down like this, like that's my jig right now, that's my lure going up and down. So this thing is very, very accurate. And then if you notice, if I just drop it and let it sit there, see that skyrocketing up there right now, that's a fish. So this fish kind of came up, investigated, and then went back down. So that's what I'm looking for. So like that right there. So that was another fish, and now he's following it down. And you're just looking for that bite. So like right now, I'm fluttering this up and down. So it's not just going straight up just like that. That's an actual fish that's skyrocketing up to my bait right now. See the black lines here are so like this white line is where my kayak is. The black lines right here are the water column, so that's basically this, and then this is like the ground, so like this is the ground out. So it basically comes down and then out like that. So like all these right here are fish, like these little spots you're seeing, and like this right here is a fish coming up. And that was originally him sitting down there on the bottom. Kind of cheating, I guess. Depends on how you think about it. But yeah, see there he is right there, right at the bottom. Yep, you just hit it. They're not really like committing strikes, though. They're kind of just, he doesn't know what he wants to do. That are right up under my bait, and they keep coming up at it, but I'm just trying to, oh, there he was. I was just about to say I'm trying to get him to commit to it, but he did just come up and hit it, so. Just give it little twitches. Couple big ones just to get his attention. Yeah, sometimes like when I was fishing, that was like the only difference. Like that changed the game completely. It's just going up a size in those Castmasters and just getting a little bit heavier, just like that. I just had a hit. And I mean, it was just hookup after hookup after hookup, all because I just changed the weight. So there's another one. That's what I'm saying. That's 2 fish already. And I just tied this thing on. I've been using the other one for the last 10-15 minutes. And they were like not really sure about eating it, and then they peck it a little bit, chase it. But I just had 2 fish back to back on the same retrieve, so all I did was change my spoon. A lot of people are like scared to change up, like when they're fishing. Like they're scared to like change their lures or change what they're doing. Like, if you're not catching fish and like what you're doing is not working, don't be scared to just change to a different lure, or you know, reel it in different, do something. Like it could change the game. And then yeah, a lot of people will do that. They'll change it and then they'll stick with that forever. So every time they go out, that's the only thing they're gonna do. And then they'll get mad and frustrated, like, why am I not catching fish now? Like, this was working last time. Well, yeah, it might have worked last time, but it might not work this time. So you always gotta really change it up. But this is literally like the reason why I catch so many fish, and people are like, how do you do it, dude? And I'm like, I just change things up, dude. I don't always do the same thing. You never know, man. That's what makes fishing pretty fun, dude. Like, you don't know sometimes. You never know what you're gonna catch, if you're gonna catch anything at all, especially like offshore fishing and stuff. Like when I'm back home in Florida, you don't know. There's so many different species that you could catch. It's like you never know what's gonna eat your bait or whatever. Never know what's gonna swim up to the boat. It's awesome. I mean, that's why I fish so much. I mean, I get all these views. I get to do like just crazy stuff, man. I experience things that a lot of people don't. I would so much rather be doing this right now. I'd so much rather not be catching fish than sitting at home playing video games or, you know, wondering what everybody else is out here catching, or, you know what I mean? So like right now I'm doing 3.4 mile an hour, and this is almost a dead battery, if that tells you anything about these motors. 3.5 mile an hour in a turn with the wind in my face, with all this stuff in here too. Like, these things are absolutely insane. And I have literally a deep cycle car battery, a 12-volt car battery for the battery for this thing. So that adds an extra 80 pounds to this kayak. So now this kayak's probably closer to 200 pounds now, because the kayak itself is like 75-80 pounds dry with nothing at all in it. And this thing is pushing me at 3.5 mile an hour. Doesn't sound like a lot, but I mean, if you look, we're cruising right now. And usually I don't care about going fast unless, like, you know, I'm trying to get to a spot. Like, I know where the fish are, I know what's going on, and I'm just trying to hurry up and get there. Or if you have like a storm and you just need to get back, that's kind of why I need that speed. But other than that, like, I don't care about being fast at all. This thing is just absolutely insane. You know, I had a lot of you guys like, how is the trolling motor doing? Like, we watch your TikToks and your YouTube on, you know, you're being excited about putting it on and stuff, but I never had really a chance to give you guys a true, honest review about this thing. But it is absolutely insane. I literally couldn't be happier with this thing. Like, I get, like, some of them have iPilot and all that crazy stuff, but for a kayak, dude, like, I don't need that stuff. I really don't. Like, the places I go, I can manage this little remote. If you can't manage this remote and fish, then I don't know. You got other things to worry about. Ooh, that was a good hit. You seen that thing pull my rod tip in the water. Once you learn this stuff, that's why I'm trying to help you guys out. Like, once you learn how to read these things, oh my word, guys, holy crap, look at that bend, boy. This is a good one. This is definitely a good one. Or he's just hooked in the tail. Yeah, I could have said that, but I didn't know that for sure. We'll just go with it was big. There's a fish literally right under my spoon. Oh, I had him. He's gone. God, look at the school of them, dude. There's a school of them under me. Another one. God, he's going crazy. See, I can tell they're just like swiping at this thing because they're not even, like, they're just getting wrapped up. Look at that. Talk about crazy. Look at that screen. That's probably 10 different fish right there. Let me actually, like, so that's how you mark it, obviously. You just press this little thing, looks like a mark, I guess, like a little pin. Then you can mark your spot, and then back when you go back to the maps, you just drop right back on it, and there you go. There's another one. So I kind of want to mark the spot just because, like, oh man, you can see how long this takes because it's going right. Yep, they're already skyrocketing up to it. As soon as they feel that thing start fluttering down, they're already on it. Like that one. They're not very big. I'm waiting for the giants that I know are here. I'm talking like 20 inches. 20, 25 inch trout. And I mean, there's a school of them right there, and I'm in the middle of the school. And they're all kind of going down. Kind of losing interest, so we'll just give them a good couple jigs, get their attention back, drop it back in the school again. And there's a ton of them, man.